Hi everybody, it's Tracy here from Art Photo Stitch, and we were having a look in the last video about sun-dyed fabrics. I love them, so I thought we might have a little closer look at the process and how it turns out. Maybe even an embroidery at the end.
Okay, here I am. I'm having a little experiment with some sun dyes here. And I think this one's nearly dry, so I'm going to take things off. See how I have a leaf sort of ghost shape there? Oh, that's this leaf here. I will take this other one off and see if it did anything. Yes, I can see that too. That's quite nice. And the other thing on here is these crystals of salt. Sometimes you can get interesting little marks from the salt and from it dragging the wet dye through the fabric towards it. You know, so I like that. So here we are again. It's another one, a different kind of leaf. It's left a bit of a ghosty pattern, but it's still not quite dry. It probably could have done more, but I quite like that it's semi-done. It's a suggestion in the background. I've made my own printed fabric, really. So sometimes this works, sometimes really well, and sometimes it doesn't. And if something's flat, and closer to the fabric, then it works quite well. This one's still damp, so I'm going to pop it out back in the sun and see if we put that back on, whether it also leaves something or not as it's drying. So I think you can see. I can't really see because I'm out in the sun, but what would happen? You see, that's starting to leave a bit of a... I'm going to leave it there for a bit longer. Doesn't work as well when it's, like I said, when it's far from the fabric, but it might be enough. Now what do I want to show you? Yes, can you see here how it's left those little stripes? It's dragged the dye across. So in a little while these will be finished and we'll have a little good look at them and see.
So here we have some lovely dried pieces of fabric, and we've experimented with a few different types of leaves and with some salt, and we're now just going to have a go at pulling everything off and seeing how it turns out.
Now if you're wanting to know how I did this, I didn't show you the beginning part. I have shown you in the past, but this is just plain calico, just a natural undyed cotton, very light. It had quite a lot of starch in it, so I know because when I put it under the water to start with, the water beaded across the top of it rather than soaking in, so I gave it a little bit of a soak. And then whilst it was still wet, I got it out and I just used some green, watered down green sun dye. Now there's different brands, I really don't know what they all are. There will be something in the area where you live if you want to try it. But yes, some green and then some blue at the top of this one, and the mixture where they joined. Maybe a couple of dashes of purple. You can see here I've dashed a little bit of purple on it. And then I have put the leaf on, and then I have sprinkled it with salt crystals, and look at these lovely marks here, aren't they great? Just having a closer look now, I just think that's stunning. It does such wonderful things, and even the creases in the fabric made the dye, you know, run differently. I'm just seeing if I can hold this camera whilst I'm doing this. See how we go. Another one, different leaves, salt coming off. Not as exciting, kind of exciting. Here's one here. I've just taken those leaves off there. That's nice. This is the big unveiling. I love doing this and seeing what happened. You know, that's nice. I love that. And some eucalyptus leaves on this one. Beautiful. That's a hibiscus leaf. See how the hibiscus leaf was very flat, and so it left this very definite mark. So they'd be great backgrounds for a little bit of embroidery, I think. Let's have a look what we got. Oh, that's the blue and green one. That's this purple with the green down the bottom. These are sort of a little bit lighter, so they're more delicate. Right, let's have a look. What do you think? I think they're great fun. So when there's something that I don't have an idea for, or I have looked in my scraps and fancy something different, I go out and create my own cloth. And this is just one of the ways that I do. Alright, well, this is another lot that I've just had a look at. It was green down the bottom and yellow at the top, and I let the two colours mix. And I tried gum leaves this time. Now, sometimes it works. I can see them there. I can see that they've moved, so they've given me several prints. I can see that one didn't work quite so well. I still like it. It doesn't really matter to me that it hasn't got a perfect imprint. Look at that one. That's nice. A little bit more. So I wanted to talk a little bit. Oh, first have a look at those stripes. Aren't they lovely? You know, those are marks from those salt crystals, dragging the dye through, because it absorbs moisture. It absorbs the moisture, the wet fabric, which has the dye in it, and that makes it travel. Makes the dye travel. Oh, very nice. I get very excited. Maybe you can see why. I keep thinking, what can I do with that? Oh yes, loving it. So look at this though. It's not flat, is it? You know, if it's down on something, it's not flat all the way. So you're better off with a pressed flower or something, and that's why sometimes these have worked and sometimes they haven't. See, that one there was quite flat, so it worked quite well. Sometimes they weren't. And so that's the variation that I'm talking about. And that's how it works in a nutshell. So that's pretty well it now. I mean, I will rinse them and dry them. And the thing is that they probably won't lose any colour now. They're set. Now, it may seem a little bit like I've been meandering, but I'm coming back to it now. So here's our lovely pictures. Don't they look beautiful? And coming back to the scrap, you know, we could do a lot. We could stitch around things, we could use that as a part of something, you know, add something else to it, couch some things down. We could use that to felt on. There we go, bit of that. Yeah, I think we'd find things that are nice with that. There's a bit of jewelry green. So, if you're seeing what I'm getting at, it is extending your stash. I think that's what it really is, extending your stash. So we've got all of these scraps that you would normally throw out, and we've got some fabrics that we've made ourselves. Even the ones that are like these would make pretty pictures as they are. Stitch around those, just lovely. But even the ones that were a bit disastrous, I still don't really have a problem with. And if you didn't like it, perhaps you like that section of it, or that. Perhaps you would prefer to have, you know, like a little patchwork of different things. So just looking at things differently, using some things that you already have, and seeing where it leads you, basically. So just looking at this one here, and looking at my scrap box and things, what could I do? See, I don't see that strong imprint on this one, so this one can be whatever I like. I just was looking for inspiration. I saw this one, I thought, I like that. I do like that. In fact, I may even use it because it's pretty, isn't it? I like it. Alright, but I also, would it go to brown? Yeah, easily. Nice. There was this green. Are we seeing anything yet? I quite like this because it's got grasses and things in it. So I'm just going to rip that edge as well because I want it to be, whoops. And now it's looking really dark, isn't it? Still like it though. If I did this one, would it be better? Possibly. I will try a bit of it. And we just try things in different ways all the time to see what we might like. I think it needs something really, 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 really nice. What have you? That's that silk. No. Or an aqua colour. You know, there's too many choices of things that could be great. Yeah. Too many choices. But honestly, it could be something as simple as our nice little torn bit there. Oops. And some just stitched in lines to sort of echo these stitches. These lines of foliage. Okay, I'm just going to quickly stitch something there, just to show you 2 pieces of fabric, what we can do. Well, I quite like to start with something that's not that noticeable. It matches, you know, and then I'll take it in a different direction. So let's just do that. I might do a knot down the bottom.
And so now with some simple running stitch in some nice wavy lines, we just managed to stitch through that background and also through that square of different fabric that we have. And we're attaching that square at the same time as producing some sort of wavy lines that echo the print. Now here I've grabbed a yarn and it's got some lovely glossy colours. It's got a nice deep jadey green that fits in nicely, and a nice sandy kind of colour as well, and a lighter green, so it'll be nice. And I'm going to couch it, so I'm going to let bits of it bunch out to its full width, and then I'm going to, underneath, I travel down and I come up one side, and I decide to pull it in there. So just a small stitch, and see how I pulled that over, and so I let it bunch out in bits, and I don't mind twisting the yarn so it adds a little bit more effect, and you know, it's sort of like lines of I don't know, seaweed or just interesting foliage. So I've got them also sweeping in nice lines from top to bottom, but you know, in a wavy kind of format. See, looks quite nice when you see it with the surround around, doesn't it? And you can see which bits you might like to use. You know, just figure out where you like it best within that frame. Now I could do lots of things. I'm going to continue, but you know, just have a look here how simple it is to just add a few buttons and you know, call it done. Just very effective, you know, the use of buttons sometimes. So collect buttons. There we are. Looks quite nice. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed that. Look at that yellow there. I think I'll bring that in next. My name's Tracy. Art Fibre Stitch is my business. And if you've liked this video, don't forget to press like and subscribe.